This person will also be very intellectual, capable of articulate speech with a lot of, vocabulary words at their ready command, and probably a little bit verbose, right, in the way that they express themselves even.
Who sees the biggest possibility, the biggest opportunity, something that's vibrant and new and alive and fresh, and so seeing that in her fashion, seeing the new and the high, and seeing the utility and the more masculine and then the more feminine. And I think that, there's a practicality to her, but then there's also a celebration of life and flourishes and romance and love, where she wants to believe in all things beautiful. That makes a lot of sense to me, and her feelings are clashing, yet they make sense when you look at her. You're like, oh, I understand that.
Take a long time to get something out because they're tripping over all the details that are streaming through them, in the way they see things. And they're definitely going to be outspoken. This person's a little smarter than the other one in terms of their ability to really see a larger pattern. Yeah, the common sense, right? They can get carried away because there's like an ungroundedness that makes them travel a lot, that makes them unable to sort of stay in one place, for too long, but also doesn't let them sort of cycle their ideas and choices in a grounded way through some common sense.
Like my address or my phone number or like my location share. Or I could just location share you and then we could...
Also very charismatic, but this one is a little bit even more like dark and morbid in their charisma. Deep artistic quality that comes with this one.
It's really interesting.
But they'll be probably good at movement, like graceful, alluring, so the charisma's there, but it'll have this real watery, fluid, seductive, dark sort of quality to it. This person's also domineering. They're the boss, right? They're the boss, man. That's it. Ain't no conversation about it. They know where they're strong, which is in that inner social arena. And so they're not going to take you on in this, kind of outer, right, place where these rigid rules, right, are in charge. They're going to bring you into a more of a subjective, right, their world sort of arena, and then they here's my power, and I'm gonna show you who's boss.
Wow.
And that's why I'm standing up for it, and that's why I'm not being difficult. And then there are other moments to go am I the asshole in the room? What is happening here? When I went in the meetings, I would just seem like I'm just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig. I wouldn't reveal that I actually need to have authorship in order to feel fulfilled. So I think that for them, sometimes that might have felt like a rug pull, because you're trying to assert yourself into something that we didn't hire you to do.
How would she deal with a boss?
She has to be the boss. She will not submit to a boss. And if she would agree to be in a situation where she is being dominated, it will be short-lived, and probably she'll, find some way to lure that person into her, situation of dominance and spring her traps.
What is wrong with her taking over the film?
I've never seen it before in my 30-plus year career in Hollywood. And an executive producer is below a producer in the film world. An executive producer signed up to be an executive producer, and that's it. As the time progressed in this film, she decided that she wanted to be a producer. She started to make edits. She wanted to be part of the editing team. Next thing you know, she took over the editing. She started making threats that she wouldn't promote the movie, that she wanted to be in control of marketing of the movie, that she would do nothing in terms of promotion unless she was the actual editor.
That would be there.
Wow.
Okay, so here's another
Blows
picture.
my mind every time.
A water air type of person here. And so this person's going to basically be dominated by a need for equality, for everyone to get along, for, basically everybody should be included and everyone should agree. Be angry if somebody won't be included and agree. They're kind of intensely this type, where most people are in the right middle ground. This person's a bit extreme in their type. So to the degree I've got everybody agreeing with me and my idea of unity, then I'll be happy, right? Extremely happy and overflowing with giddy, sentimental happiness and so on. But now when it goes the other side, we'll see survival instinct kick in because my life depends on this. Okay, this person's definitely suffered some serious oppression, you can say, kind of formidable pushing down of the rules onto their head when they were young, which makes them all the more averse to rigidity of rules. On the social level, they're going to be anyone who they kind of sense to be a symbol of rigidity of rules. These things should be, respected no matter what your, situation. I don't like this person. Before they even can talk to that person or get to know, they're just going to not like them and have an aversion to them. And what are they pulling towards? They're pulling towards individual caprice, freedom. There's a lot of irony built into these two layers that are simultaneously present in this person, which means inner conflict, self-contradiction, swinging between extremes. Oh, wow. Yeah. So this person really has a serious, like a pretty strong, serious trauma or like basically a place where they were about, between the ages of 7 and 10. And so when this person will get upset, right, and it's about who's in charge, we'll see a regression into very juvenile, not even less than, very young emotionality. Less intelligent, less reasoned emotionality, more about young issues. And these emotions would become, that are still trapped in there, waiting for this person to go back and deal with them. Bring that story to a resolution, make a response. And that's for all, obviously this is good stuff for all of us to hear, but this person is definitely avoiding and holding on to this stuff. And it's driving, they have a really high ambition. But it's actually because of this, right? And this is, it's driving them, but it's also gonna destroy it. Well, also this person, just like the last one, real strong battle line. So yeah, they're ready for war. And they probably even have this philosophy, I'm made for the,
Wow.
battle, fuck around and find out kind of thing,
Wow.
This person, again, there's a similarity. So these two people probably would make a good battle scene together. Stop it. Because they're both kind of occupying some similar territories personality-wise. Their natures are coming from different places, but they're trying to occupy the same sort of social arena here. And
I promise you, he doesn't know anything.
Yeah, I don't keep up with this crap anymore.
No, he's always reading.
So, because they both have this sort of vacillation thing of going from being, sort of holding the cards, I'm not expressing anything, I'm kind of poker face, and then this highly exuberantly, wildly expressive kind of a thing. And when they both meet on that other vacillation, that's where we'll, right, throw the grenade. Right, we'll see all this stuff going on.
Oh, wow.
Good stuff. Probably a good show. Because this is what entertains us is, the opposites meeting and, that's where all the action happens and stuff like that. Definitely seeing a huge retreat from life. We're talking like 55-ish. Also excessively, interesting. Okay. Yeah, they'll have a real sort of carnal, physical sort of lust or, real appetite for owning physical things as symbols of status.
That is your stuff. The boots were mine. There's these great Louboutins that are also a close-up on them when we're dancing in the bar. Those are mine. I have a few of my husband's shirts and socks randomly in the movie. I have some of Gigi Hadid's sweaters in the movie. Really crazy rings. Rings also are like my comfort blanket. This is a very expensive comfort blanket. I should like Snuggies instead as a comfort blanket. Instead I like Lorraine Schwartz, which is a problem.
More than other things, more than how they look or, it's kind of like this thing, it's a material thing that's definitely physical and a sensual symbol, but it's about, my place in society. Makes people kind of look up to me or despair as they look up to me or whatever. So there's some mark for a loss of reputation. I can't see the rest of the lines though to pinpoint the time in life.
So should I tell you whose hands they belong to?
Yeah, well, let's see if I even know who they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blake Lively.
Okay.
Do you know who that is?
I can't picture a face.
I know. You mentioned about material possessions. She's constantly talking about her rings and her outfits and, these are key things that she put into the movie that she, was acting in.
Symbolic possession, right. Material things that represent status and right. Okay.
Yeah, really accurate. So, thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, until next time.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
See you soon.
Bye.